So, I posted a graph on Twitter recently, and it looks like this. Now, I have been through buildspace nights and weekends, season 2, and I pretty much experienced the same kind of energy level drop and then return. I wasn't able to go to IRL in season 2, but basically in season 2, I went from here down, down, down to no energy. And I think this happens because people like new things, right? Like when Buildspace first released season 3, there's always new things, right? Like this page was new, these icons, it's all very new, right? And then the first Twitch stream that was like week 0, there were 4,000 people in chat, like in the Discord, in the Twitch, all saying, "Oh, this is so exciting! I'm so glad I got in," and pretty much immediately after that, this is the requirement for week 1 is get the F off localhost. So basically, make something and then show it to other people, and that just eliminated a whole bunch of people, right? Because suddenly they realize that they either don't know, like their idea, they don't know how to get it off localhost, or they give up, or they get distracted by some other thing in their life. But that first drop is pretty normal because signing up with your email takes like almost no effort. Actually putting in work by yourself or in a team requires work. So that's the reason the energy drops. And then from week 1 to 2, it's all about getting your first 10 users, right? So this is the period of time where everybody's posting on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. People are trying to get on Discord actually, and with this new forum format, it's like all these posts are from people trying to get people to see their product, showcase what they're working on, and it's like there's so many posts. It's literally impossible to not see a buildspace post during that week. If I'm on like Discord or Twitter, it's like my entire feed is completely full of it. And obviously, once you see some posts, some things are going to be interesting. So, for example, I think this Ilya, the singer-songwriter, she popped off that week, right? She got featured in Fuzz's email. She got, mentioned, and also like Jorgen. Like he made really funny videos, and he just popped off, right? On Twitter, his videos, like he only has 200 tweets about. And really, he didn't tweet that much before Buildspace. Like this is his oldest tweet that I can see on his account. And but yeah, so this is week 1, right? First week, and he made a really nice video, kind of showcasing Buildspace as like a Hunger Games kind of format. And then, he found his audience, Buildspace. And getting your users, seeing that number go up. Actually, I can show my YouTube analytics. This is week 2 right here. I go from 12 views to 12 views to 336. And that felt like really good, right? And so you get more energy from that. You get more energy. You're feeding off the energy of your users. But as you keep going, if people don't stay interested in your project, your energy is going to go down. Because what I saw was that, I don't know why it was so high on this date. Like, I think it's because one of my videos, like this one, for some reason, this video got way more views than any other review video. And I guess it's because of the algorithm or something, or Twitter. The creator shared retweeted my post about it. But yeah, I had a really good week 2, and then week 3, it decreased a little bit. And that kind of thing can demotivate people. For me, I looked on the positive side. I was like, okay, my subscribers still went up. I'm getting about the same number of view hours. So it's not like my content got worse. It just, outlier. I think it's just an outlier. But really, week 2 to week 3, it's kind of like, okay, it's the start of like kind of wishy-washy emotions start to set in, like doubts start to set in, because this is the time where you're questioning, oh, am I doing what's actually important? Am I doing what I want to be doing? Why are my users leaving? Why am I not getting feedback? And as a content creator, getting feedback is one of the hardest things to do. I even made a Google form, right? So I made a Google form, and I'm like, if you respond, I'm gonna pick 5 people from the respond list and give them $5 each. And only 3 people responded, and kudos to them, because none of them wanted money. But yeah, getting feedback is really, really hard, but getting feedback is the most useful way to actually improve your product or your content or your channel. Thankfully, I have a pretty good idea of what I like to do, and maintaining a YouTube channel is more like kind of just try and see what works and what doesn't. And I've been getting some feedback on like Twitter posts and stuff like that. But I think the hardest weeks are week 3 to 4 and 4 to 5, right? Because this is typically a continuation of the decline. And you're week 3, you're like, oh, I'm halfway through the 6-week program, right? Week 3, you've submitted 3 weekly updates. Week 3 to 4 is mostly about marketing, right? So this week we learned about marketing and, find specific channels. And this week is even more demotivating than the last one, because this time you're putting yourself out there even more. You're, posting on Reddit, you're posting on TikTok, you're posting on Facebook, places that you don't normally post and whose communities are smaller, right? So when you get, I don't want to say attacked on Reddit, but they can be pretty mean. You can get downvoted, the comments are gonna say, "Oh, why should I use this? This looks dumb. I can make a better product than you in like 2 days." And it's very hard to post on YouTube, especially for content creators, because nobody really likes self promotion. Like there's kind of a negative stigma around YouTube creators. Probably like most social media platforms have like influencers, right? So it's kind of like a whole moral, ethical, social dilemma around those kind of topics. But if you're a smaller creator like this girl, this woman, who's like writing music, I feel like that's much easier to share to people, because the support for artists in comparison is pretty good. And week 4 to 5, I'm predicting that it will bottom out. Right, this will be the lowest point that you will ever be in the Nights and Weekends program, because during week 5 to 6, you're like, hey man, it's the last week. There's only one more weekly update, and you just gotta finish this and ship, and then you can travel to San Fran or Dubai, and have fun and celebrate. So this is kind of the graph I predicted. This is the graph, kind of the graph that I already experienced. But yeah, I mean, if you're here, if you're at your lowest point and you really want to quit, because I've seen people already be like week 3, week 4, they're like, I'm choosing to step away from my project, or I'm quitting season 3, and they post that publicly. And some people comment on those posts. They're like, oh yeah, your health comes first, or your mental health comes first, or like, oh yeah, you should come back stronger, right? But if you're going to drop out, make sure you're dropping out for the right reasons. Like if you're actually overwhelmed, you should probably drop out. Like if you have a full-time job, or you have school exams coming up, then I would say that's a pretty valid reason. But if you're like, I just don't like my product anymore, then I would say like your main priority is to find at least one user. Because if you have that one person to talk to about your product, or about anything, I think you can make it. Like even if you pivot completely from your idea, if you made a connection with one person who's in your corner and supports what you're building, I think that is going to change your life, right? So to me, buildspace isn't about making $1 million or building $1 billion product, right? Or even about winning like $100,000. Like I feel like my energy in buildspace comes from meeting other people who are kind of in the same mindset, and meeting other people that aren't in the same mindset, but have a common goal of like building new things, building interesting things. And they could come from business, finance, music, arts. I'm like engineering, right? So I haven't seen that many other mechanical engineers in the program. But yeah, it's mostly for me about finding a group of people to kind of stick with. After 6 weeks is not a long time. 6 weeks is like a year has 52 weeks. So what is that? 6 out of 52. That's like a little bit more than 10% of a year. I've, I'm 22. I've had so many seasons within me already. And the main thing is, who's going to be there 3 seasons from now, 4 seasons from now? Who's going to be with you at, the end of 2023? Are they going to support your product even if you pivot 300 times? Are they going to read your blog post, a year from now? Or go back a year and read your old blog post? Stuff like that. So those are kind of the questions I've been asking myself weekly. And really, this graph is, I drew it as a joke, but it's means a lot in terms of the way I think. And I think IRL is my chance to actually get a deeper connection to other builders. And I'm only going to be there for 3 days. So I'm going to make the most out of it. I'll see you guys there. Keep shipping.